Borges, Tejeda and Campbell are still around from the class of 14. Jewison Bennett of Sunderland becomes Costa Rica's youngest ever World Cup player. Both he and Gavi were born in 2004. Lee Dixon, if that doesn't make you feel a little bit old, what effect will this game take from what we've seen this afternoon?
Well, I think the Japanese have done Luis Enrique's team talk for him. I think he'll just mention that. Don't be the third one in a row to suffer a big shock. And the last two, underestimating to say it's a big shock. I think the Costa Ricans will get a lot of power from that before they kick off. And likewise, Luis Suarez, his team talk is just see what happened in the previous game.
It's another of those matchups you only really get at a World Cup. Another mismatch in population terms, nearly 50 million plays, 5 million. But Costa Rica in all white are a good underdog. It's a role that just suits the psyche and character of certain nations. And Costa Rica showed us all 8 years ago they are one of those nations. Some teams are just better underdogs, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And you take that role and you play with it. We've just seen in the games, I think the one common factor in the previous upsets is that both teams went a goal behind and stayed in the game. That's a huge thing. If they go a goal behind to this talented Spanish side, and just stay in the game.
Costa Rica have started with a back four. Spain, as always, 4-3-3. Costa Rica more 4-4-2. Here's Jordi Alba to a surprise selection, really, Dani Olmo on this left-hand side. It is Marco Asensio who started the game down the centre. On by Azpilicueta, seeking out Asensio. Pedri. He's only 19. Spain are one of the youngest squads in this tournament. And here is Gavi making history tonight at just 18 years of age. Ferran Torres. It was a sharp challenge by Brian Oviedo. He had to get it right, and he did.
Well, he did. He read which way Torres wanted to try and get an early cross in. He just toe-poked it out, but perfect timing. Very close to not being.
Rodri, as befits a centre-back, has come forward for the corner alongside Aymeric Laporte. It's towards Laporte, and it just sails over his head. And talking of team selections, here's a strange appointment. Mohamed Abdullah of Dubai is the referee. There are 36 referees at this World Cup. Just why FIFA would appoint the man who was roundly criticised for his decisions in the playoff match that brought Costa Rica to these finals, only they know. They beat New Zealand 1-0 here in Qatar in June, and Abdullah really angered the All-Whites by disallowing a goal and sending off one of their players. Just seems an unnecessarily controversial call to me. It puts pressure on him quite apart from anything else. The back then will swap sides for Spain. Olmo trying his luck on the right-hand side. Calvo with the cover. Busquets. Gavi kept it in, but only for Costa Rica to clear their lines again. I don't think they'll be too perturbed at not seeing a great deal of the ball. This may be the pattern for the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get used to that.
Asensio. Here's Joel Campbell winning a free kick from Aymeric Laporte. Campbell, who announced himself at those World Cup finals 8 years ago, won his move to Arsenal with his performances there. And it was Campbell who scored the only goal of that playoff win over New Zealand here. 2 minutes and 9 seconds after kick-off. I think the celebrations lasted a bit longer than that.
I think the two wingers for Spain, certainly Olmo on one side and Torres on the other, they play really wide, chalk on their boots. And the midfield player, Fuller, on this right-hand side, is going pretty narrow at times. So whoever's playing on the left wing, and as you said, Clive, they do switch wings. It's really key. The switch is on all the time.
Here's Asensio, who's playing in an unfamiliar role for him because he's really a wide man too. Ferran Torres, Alba, Pedri, Olmo arriving late. Such a good chance. He may have got a late start of it as it dropped over the fullback's head. He had to take it first time and just direct it, and he directed it wide. What
a ball that is. Out to in run. Virtually a straight ball into the box. It's on a plate. But as you said, it just comes over Oviedo's head, and he's waiting for it. Is he going to get a touch? And then just snatched at it right at the end.
He's only really been eased back into action during the last month after missing 7 weeks in September and October with an ankle injury. Dani Olmo. He's had 8 games back, but 5 of those have been from the Leipzig bench. He had another 30 minutes in the final warm-up game in Jordan last week, but he's a surprise selection. Spain have had a little bit of influenza in the camp. Alvaro Morata was feeling it, and so too Dani Carvajal, and that maybe explains their absence from the starting 11.
That's a nightmare ball to defend as a fullback. Gary Neville will tell you, you've got one eye on the ball and you're trying to just check the winger over your left shoulder or your right shoulder. You're playing on that left back position. And you take one little look at the ball and then they make the run. They're so good on the ball, the Spanish. The timing of the pass is perfect.
Contreras surrounded. Pedri emerges with the ball. Rodri played the last 15 minutes of the final warm-up game in Jordan last week at centre-back. He switched to the defence for the last 45 minutes of their Nations League win over Portugal in September. The ball has gone out of play. As far as I can see, they're the only minutes he's had as a centre-back for his country. 4 seasons ago, he was pressed into service by Manchester City as an emergency centre-back for 4 games. If I tell you Fernandinho was playing alongside him in a couple of those, it gives you an idea of City's injury problems at that time. But 99.9% of his football has been played as a midfield player. Fascinating selection. Rodri at centre-back tonight. Here comes Jordi Alba. Pedri showing for the ball. Finding Jordi Alba. Dani Olmo. Well, half-hearted handball appeals in the midst of all that.
Well, Costa Rica need to get hold of Pedri, that's for sure. We've got nowhere near him so far. You give him huge amounts of space. He's got so much ability on the ball. He will just pick you apart.
Jordi Alba's getting some licence down this side. It's interesting because Costa Rica have effectively selected 2 fullbacks. Both number 16 Carlos Martinez and Keisha Fuller, number 4, playing in front of him, are right backs by trade. Not quite sure why Jordi Alba is being allowed the time and space that he is on this near side.
Fuller's got half one eye on what's going on behind him. Because of how Spain play with their wingers really wide, the fullback will be calling him back. He doesn't want a 1v1, he needs a bit of protection in front of him. At the moment, Fuller's not that chuffed about going back there. He's playing quite narrow.
That's Piliqueta. Torres. Busquets. Here's Pedri finding room again. First time by Asensio. And just wide of the mark. But for all the cover that Costa Rica are amassing in front of their back 4, Spain are playing through them.
Well, Pedri knows 2 or 3 passes ahead where he's going to pass the ball. When the ball comes to him, he's assessed it all. The radar's out. He knows a first-time pass into Asensio's feet. And the striker's got a chance to get a shot away, and he just smothers it past the post.
Asensio's been mainly a substitute for Real Madrid this season, only 3 starts, but Luis Enrique has faith in him, played him at the last World Cup. Here comes Jordi Alba again.
Just look at Fuller now, he's trying to pick Pedri up. Now he's got to come out to Alba. And he's got to check over his shoulder, make sure Olmo's not in space as well.
He looks like a player unfamiliar with the position, and he is.
He is.
Azpilicueta. Ferran Torres.
He keeps looking back as well for a little bit of guidance off his fullback, saying, well, do you need me? Do you not need me? I've got 3 men here. Certainly Martinez can't go early to help him out because he's got to put cover on his centre-back.
Spain have made an assertive start. And so did Germany.
And Argentina.
Busquets. They ran past the ball, never quite had it under control. He's managed to atone for his error. Picked up by Busquets. Dani Olmo. Calvo away, but rather anxiously. Borges can only help it on its way. Asensio, Pedri, Busquets, Jordi Alba tiptoeing into space, finding Dani Olmo. Opportunity for Gavi, just tried to slip it through. He's in the real opportunity. It's been coming. Dani Olmo has got the goal that Spain have been promising from the first whistle. It's taken just 11 minutes. It's Spain's 100th in World Cup football. And Dani Olmo has got it.
Well, I think you can give Pedri man of the match now. He's involved in absolutely everything that Spain do, right from the first kick-off. Pulling all the strings. Every time he gets the ball, he makes an incisive pass. He knows space before anybody else does. That ball there just opens up everything. It's just a brilliant, brilliant piece of skill. It's actually Gavi, I do apologise, but the actual play, the dropping into space, the picking up, the ability to turn when you know you're in space, and then incisive passing into the box.
Spain's 100th goal of the World Cup finals. Luis Enrique has scored 2 of those. One among a bevy of famous names: David Villa, Fernando Torres, Raúl Butragueño, Diego Costa, Fernando Morientes. Pep Guardiola has scored 1 of them. And Andres Iniesta scored the special one of them in the final of 2010 in extra time in Johannesburg. 100 up for Spain. And the way they've started, that won't be their final total at the end of this evening.
Well, the pattern's been set like the previous 2 upsets. You just feel that the Spanish side, with the amount of quality they've got in that midfield, are just going to take command of this game.
Jusen Bennett's hardly seen the ball so far. A little glimpse of his pace and direct running there. Martinez, hooked on by Fuller. Tidied up by this new combination of Rodri and Laporte. It's one thing being club mates, but they won't have played together in these positions for Manchester City. Rodri often drops back between the 2 centre-backs, but this is a different setup completely.
I do think, though, Clive, that does make a difference in the manager's mind. And you've got 2 club mates that play so close together on the pitch. Obviously, Rodri slightly ahead of him. I think it will make his decision a little bit easier. They know each other inside out.
Here is Busquets, who usually alternates with Rodri. Amazingly, this is only the second time they've started in international together. They're usually contenders for the same spot. Maybe there is a future, although not perhaps a long future with Sergi Busquets' age, in which they can play together. Olmo, who took that chance so expertly. He had to spin and almost drag the ball with him. Pedri to Gavi. Just hacked down by Calvo. Knew too much for the Costa Rica defender.
Well, he knows what's coming, and the first touch is just sublime, just takes it out of his feet.
He's played every international since his debut just over a year ago. He only turned 18 in August. And he has picked up a couple of prestigious awards for best young player in Europe recently. He didn't bother with the under-19s or the under-21 caps. He just went straight into the senior team, Gavi, and he has a World Cup assist to add to his already history-making night as Spain's youngest ever World Cup player. This is Pedri. Couldn't get it past Fuller. Now here goes Bennett. It was a foul. He's a very direct runner. He provided the cutback from which Joel Campbell scored that winning goal against New Zealand here in Qatar. Joined Sunderland at the end of August. He's had to wait his time because of the former Jack Clark, but he's made an impact from the substitutes bench. Already close to the hearts of the Wearside fans. Campbell's come out to take the free kick. Calvo's underneath it, but the flag is raised, and Spain will have a free kick.
Yeah, really high line from Spain. Really important that you don't drop in there early. Sometimes when you play high line like that, forwards go running back, and that's a well-drilled red line.
And talking about club associations, the Spanish midfield three are all from the Spanish league leaders, Barcelona. And when one of them is 19 and one of them is 18, and having familiar faces around you probably helps.
Well, it helps having Busquets just behind you, I tell you, because that man never gives a ball away. Just feeding those two.
Pedri's actually 2 days short of his 20th birthday. He'll celebrate here at the World Cup. I have no idea where I celebrated my 20th birthday, but it wasn't at the World Cup finals.
I could have a guess.
I'm not sure I would have remembered the following day. Here's Jordi Alba. Dani Olmo. Alba is playing almost as an auxiliary attacker at the moment. Free kick has been given. Well, they just can't get a foothold in this game, Costa Rica. Unai Simon, the Spanish goalkeeper, as much a spectator as the rest of us so far. If there are lessons that Spain can learn from Argentina and Germany in terms of managing things from here, what would they be?
Well, score a second one would help. You know, when you've got a team as laid back and pushed back as Costa Rica are, you have to make the most of it. And I think Gary Neville talked about the lack of a natural goal scorer up front for Spain. The way they've started, it looks like they could get goals from anywhere across that front three at the moment, but they've got to do it. Otherwise, as you said, 1-0, they're still in the game, and we saw the last two games what happened then.
This might come for Campbell, though. Just a little lost. The pass to Fuller was on. Tejeda. Here is Fuller. Borges. Now Martinez. Campbell looking for the diagonal. He knew that Oviedo was on the way. Bennett beaten to it though in the air by the covering Gavi. The danger for Costa Rica when they do attack is that they're open to the counter. Olmo. Asensio happy to wait now that Costa Rica have regathered some shape. Spain already enjoying 73% possession. Torres to Azpilicueta.
I played against Barcelona a couple of times, and the lads will tell you, when you're watching players never make a mistake with their passing, you think, well, they're not going anywhere, but it's draining because you have to be concentrated all the time, because at any moment, one of those little passes just breaks lines and they're in. So it's not as if you can just watch it all going on in front of you.
There is a Spanish manager, you may have heard of him, who's had a fair amount of success without playing a recognised striker, although he's ditched that idea this season. Here's Jordi Alba, first time from Asensio, and Spain lead by 2-0. Just swept in by Marco Asensio. He's the man who's been given the central striking role this evening. It's an unfamiliar role to him, but when provided with a chance, he took it as expertly as any striker could. A little over 20 minutes gone. Spain 2, Costa Rica 0.
Well, there's the second one. Brilliant ball into the box. Just have a little look how many white shirts are back there. They think they're doing a job. You've got to get tight in the box. The ball out wide and the ball in. Just look, the back four's pretty much back. But he comes from deep. The runner lets him go. The back four have dropped off and he just sweeps it. Keeper should do better. He's got to save that. But Spain don't mind.
Long way down when you're 35 years of age. Keylor Navas has had the best years of his life in Spain with Real Madrid. Has not been playing regularly recently. He hasn't played a senior game for Paris Saint-Germain since May. He's had one or two issues with his back, don't we all? But he's played every game at the last two World Cups. He is the iconic Costa Rican footballing hero. But nothing he could do to keep out Asensio's shot. There's more coming his way now with Gavi and Ferran Torres. And a corner kick to Spain.
Well, they're all over the place at the back now, Costa Rica. Gavi just wanders off his marker and stands in space. Messi-like, just standing still, waiting for the ball to come to him. And then he gets it and turns, and then as a back four, you have to drop off and run towards your own goal, and that's what the Spanish forwards want you to do. You've got to go tight, take a gamble, go in tight.
And if there is a comeback and a shock on the way, this is going to be the game of the opening 4 days of the World Cup finals. I think the odds are against it. Without thinking too far ahead, Spain have got a date with Germany coming up in a few days' time on Friday, which really is now a key game, certainly for the Germans. Spain will want to go in there with as much confidence as possible. The game is on Sunday rather than Friday, I beg your pardon. Asensio. It's as much as Oscar Duarte can do now. Got fortunate with a ricochet.
same page at all. Playing it short out from the back. And two players coming short and he just lumps it long.
They just look a little lost now, Costa Rica. Spain oozing confidence and composure.
Listen, you do have to engage the guy on the ball, obviously, but at the moment they're so focused on who's got the ball at their feet that they're just not marking any players. They're just standing. And then the ball goes to them 5-6 yards away from the player then on the ball, and it's too late. They've already got two passes in their mind when the ball gets to their feet.
Just can't find a way out at all. Borges and Tejeda at the heart of their midfield. They barely put 2 or 3 passes together. Chasing shadows for the most part. Busquets has lost possession. Here's Bennett. It's a good cover though for Rodri.
Make a centre-half out of him yet.
Torres.
It's like watching Man City in red.
Wash him out. Torres.
It's like watching Man City in red.
Wash your mouth out. Dani Olmo. Luis Enrique enjoying every second. He's not enjoying it at all. Luis Fernando Suarez. His third World Cup finals with a third different nation. Gavi. Got past one, but couldn't quite elude the second. That's wonderful. Pedri to Gavi. Torres. So many options for the Spain player in possession, partly because of the movement and partly because of the rather laboured nature of the resistance.
Well, it is tiring. I mean, as I said, even those 5 yards trying to make them up, you know, as soon as the ball gets to his feet, you go to close down, they just pop it off to someone else, get back in position. It's relentless.
And that someone else inevitably controls the ball instantly. Dani Olmo, Jordi Alba. Was that 1 or 2 nutmegs? It's almost as if he did it just for show.
The Spanish side, because they can't get near the guy on the ball very easily.
Top their qualifying group, Spain, but only just. It took a surprise defeat for Sweden to open the door for them. Spain then won in Greece with a debatable penalty and then beat the Swedes in Seville just with a single goal. This has been an impressive start. Pedri, Jordi Alba on the edge of the opponent's penalty area, and he's won a penalty. It was a tie challenge by Oscar Duarte. Down went Jordi Alba. And Spain have a chance to increase their lead.
Duarte shaking his head. Just catches the back of his heel inadvertently. And that one, it's not an awful lot of contact for me.
He had two nibbles, didn't he? I think they both made contact.
Well, he made contact and then he put his foot down, Jordi Alba, felt the contact and went down. Soft.
Yeah, the point is VAR are not going to overrule it.
No.
It's going to be Ferran Torres to take the penalty. Against Keylor Navas. Half an hour play. Spain already 2 goals to the good. Ferran Torres over the hills and far away. Nobody's going to catch the Spaniards tonight. 3-0 already. And the coolness with which Ferran Torres took the opportunity from the spot to solidify Spain from the first whistle.
Oh, we've seen the skip and the jump. That was just a little jump, sent the keeper diving early. There he goes. Contact doesn't necessarily mean a penalty, but on this occasion it doesn't really matter. This could be a long hour, maybe an hour and 10 after extra time for Costa Rica.
A goal for the Spain number 11, Ferran Torres, who is in a relationship with Luis Enrique's daughter, which puts a fresh slant on a coach's man management talents. And certainly Torres has got to be on his best behaviour in the camp all the time. Make sure that he laughs at the boss's jokes. But Ferran Torres is going out with his boss's daughter. I'm not going to ask you if you've ever come across that before, because it may be a secret.
Let's not go there.
I suppose Mr. and Mrs. Pescasolido fell in love in beautiful Birmingham, beautiful Bordsley, actually.
See, I can't stop thinking about that now. I'm trying to rack my brains.
Well, if he does anything wrong out here, he'll be home before Matt Hancock, you can be sure of that. He's going to have to behave himself, but he's stepped up to take the penalty and dispatched it coolly. And maybe the parental talk can wait. Here's Joel Campbell. Whilst we're on the subject, Sierra Martinez, the daughter of Luis Enrique, is a very, very accomplished show jumper and polo player. She's quite famous in Spain in her own right, so they are a celebrity couple. Never last.
Might leave it now, yeah.
So Costa Rica have a free kick. So Borges will take it. And it's the first real look they've had in the Spanish penalty area. Oh, it might just come for Campbell. Rather fortuitously, he's flagged offside.
Sure of his position there. He's got to be looking along the line, because if that ball goes straight on his head, he's got to play it, and he's going to be offside. So it's just lazy.
It's almost as if their concentration has been shredded by how much of the ball they've had to chase. That Spain possession count is up to 74% now. It's a tiring game to play without the football.
Because I was talking to you about the warm-up they did before. I've never seen a team do a warm-up together, the whole squad. They didn't split up into team formation or anything. The whole 26 of them were all together, warming up as a group the whole time. I've not really seen that before, but obviously didn't really work.
Well, their spirit has been rather broken by Spain's dominance. And they've become the second team at this tournament to score 3 times in the first half. England being the first. Danny Olmo, who started it all. It was a good recovery in the end by Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, I think he was just offside. He had the run on Fuller. Olmo, a little check and spin in the hole. Watch him. There's the little check, the little spin. Probably just. Martinez gets back for the block. The linesman came to his rescue.
We're into Mexican wave territory already, which is usually a sign that the game has lost a lot of its jeopardy. It'd just be interesting to see how Spain play it from here. I suppose watching on as neutrals, we can only hope that they want to score more. But there's no indication that they really need to score anymore. This particular underdog has been well and truly put back in its kennel already.
Got a feeling we're going to be talking about more player-manager relationships as this game goes on.
The glum expression on the face of Luis Fernandez Suarez says it all. It's a rare misplaced Spanish pass by Pedri. It's quite an unusual look to Spain this evening. I gather this is the first time they played in all red for 7 years. They usually wear the blue shorts. New look, maybe a pointer towards some old successes. Here's Bennett again, who's caught the eye when he's had the opportunity. And he's taking on a lot. And he's run into Ferran Torres.
He does look like he's got a bit about him. The trouble is he's just literally on his own when he gets the ball.
Borges. Campbell to Fuller. Calvo to Oviedo. Here is Bennett again. There's another game run, Contreras. Martinez had tiptoed into the penalty area. Put away by Laporte. Fuller will keep it in. Campbell. Got a man over. Hooked in by Oviedo, headed away by Rodri. And look at the way they play their way out of trouble. Trusting each other's ability. No suggestion of that being hoofed downfield.
It's a good job there was nobody downfield. They all swarm to the ball, the Spanish players, apart from the wingers who go really wide. As soon as somebody wins the ball, they've got 2 or 3 options within 5-6 yards of each other. Good bit of play from Bennett now on that left-hand side.
Gavi, Busquets, Laporte, so much time for the player on the ball to turn and pick an option. Jordi Alba, again an option down the left-hand side. It's PlayStation football. Azpilicueta. Torres. Just a series of perfect triangles.
Graham Souness is going to be loving this. Can't wait for his triangle analysis at half-time.
Rodri, always an option. Azpilicueta in towards Torres. And the only mystery is that there wasn't a finish. Maybe it's still to come. Pedri. Busquets. Azpilicueta. Asensio. Busquets. Campbell to Tejeda, who's done well to smuggle a pass into the path of Keishafula. Campbell. Borges. You may have played in the odd game where you're without the ball for so long that when you do get it, you've almost forgotten what to do with it.
Yeah, when I was at Chester and Bury.
There's a flag up here. We do look like a boxer just waiting for the sound of the bell, really. A little bit of relief at half-time. Is 4 minutes away now.
Well, it's time for the coach to earn his money, try and change the system a little bit. Trouble is, it's getting hold of the ball. Doesn't matter if you change your system if you've not got it.
Goal difference and goals scored are the first two deciders, tiebreakers if teams are level on points at the end of the group stage. And Spain may have that in the back of their minds. Asensio is onside for now. Torres finding Asensio. Gavi. Getting to the stage where you want to count the red shirts and the white shirts just to check. Asensio's sharp little return ball to Dani Olmo didn't quite come off. Busquets. Asensio.
You know what, it gets to the point where you're better off not closing down at all and just putting a shape in front of them, because you're getting 1 and 2 trying to go to the ball and all you're doing is burning energy up because you're getting nowhere near them. Just sit a little bit deeper in your shape, keep someone up front, because at the moment the amount of energy they're burning, you're going to have to make 5 subs at half-time.
It was almost as if Marco Asensio ran out of patience himself there and decided to go for goal from range. Azpilicueta.
Let's see Tejeda's mileage so far. He's in the centre of that midfield, just trying to get a foot anywhere near a Spanish boot.
It'll be more than his touches, that's for sure. Clever from Gavi. Can't quite profit. Oviedo sees to that. Bright, inventive minds, technically gifted players. There's a golfing class here. Pedri. It's almost a heavy touch, that, almost. Sit back from Olmo. Jordi Alba. Busquets. Gavi, Pedri, Asensio, Jordi Alba, and an offside flag. Almost risen out of mercy by the assistant on the far side.
The assistant had had enough.
Well, he's not the sort of man who will settle for anything, really. He's 3 years in charge now, Luis Enrique. Took Spain to the Euro semis last year, took them to the Nations League final. They compete in the semi-finals again next summer. Whether he'll still be in charge or not is another matter. His contract runs out after this tournament. So far, he's resisted overtures to renew. Perhaps club management beckons him again. It will be another 5 minutes. Playing his football in Mexico now. He was actually an Arsenal player for 7 years, but he only ever played 40 games. He was loaned out a lot. The ball is still on the top of the netting from where Campbell launched his attempt at the coconut shy, and Unai Simon, the goalkeeper, just been directed by the referee to remove it, which he's done. Again, Bennett's playing with a little bit more appetite than some around him. Costa Rica have just been passed into submission. That's a fabulous pass from Rodri. Gavi has found some space. He can't find Asensio though.
Duarte goes really tight into someone into the midfield area to try and get close. The ball's gone by the time he gets there, and then he's just got to turn and lumber back to a huge gap that another player's filled with a Spanish shirt on.
A lot of these square passes lull you into feeling comfortable with the cover that you have, and then from nowhere, the 8th or 9th pass is a penetrating one, a forward one. And you realise you've left gaps, and that somebody in red has ghosted into the gap. It's obviously very testing on the legs, but it's testing on the mind too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You know, you have to keep concentrating, and sooner or later you're so tired, you just drop that level, and then they're in. Well, a lot of them are just walking about into space, and then pace off the mark when the ball's ready to go is fantastic.
Asensio. Yeah, the referee got in his way.
The referee started to play for Costa Rica now.
I think that's fair. It's a FIFA initiative that I wasn't aware of, but it doesn't surprise me. Infantino's had crazier ideas, by the way. Gets with the back here. Pedri the beneficiary. A little is by Asensio. Maybe just took one touch too many, enough for the sliding challenge to come in from Oscar Duarte.
Yeah, he tried to let the defender just slide and then hit it after that leg comes in, but he hits that a little bit early and gets his shot away. They haven't had a shot for a while, have they?
They don't need one. Danny Olmo after 11 minutes, Marco Asensio after 20, and then just after the half-hour mark, Ferran Torres from the penalty spot. 3 goals just underline and illustrate the massive gap in class between Spain and Costa Rica. That will do for now. The only sobering news for him is there's 45 minutes or so of this still to come. You can't see